Hey everyone, Tyler Garcia, nationally certified mortgage loan originator and creator of Homeowner Hustle. Today we're going to be talking about my 6 tips to maximize your FICO score. The first piece of advice I can give to a credit newbie is going to be know your payment dates and make your payments on time. Of course, that seems really obvious, but some people don't really think that it's an obligation to pay your bills on time. You actually do need to make those payments on time. And even if it's not the full amount, if you call in and you work something out with them, they'll tend to work with you on those things. There's a lot of laws and regulations in place that force them to have to do that. So just call in and make sure that you make a payment and make it on time. The second piece of advice that I can give a credit newbie is going to be to keep their credit card balances below 30%. And when I say that, I mean if you're looking at the total balance of the card, say it's $100 just for simplicity's sake. 30% of $100 is going to be $30. So you're going to want to keep that balance on that card below $30. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't charge it up to say, $80 or $90. Just by the end of the month before your bill is due, you make sure that you pay it down below that 30% mark, or in this example, $30. The third piece of advice that I can give a credit newbie is going to be to keep an evenly distributed spread of credit accounts. And what I mean by that is having different kinds of accounts. So having a credit card, having an installment loan, maybe getting a mortgage, an auto loan, anything like that. So having different kinds of accounts is also going to play a factor into maximizing your FICO score. The fourth piece of advice that I can give a credit newbie is going to be obviously not to obtain credit collections, but if by chance you do fall into hard times and you're unable to pay things and something does fall into collections, definitely don't pay those collections off. A lot of people have this misconception that paying these accounts off is going to benefit their credit score, but more than likely it's actually going to damage the credit score, and that's because that credit line has history. So even if it's 6 months of bad history, it's still history. So it's positively affecting your credit just by having the account open. When you pay the collection off, you're closing the account and eradicating any of the history that goes with it. So it's kind of a catch-22. There are some accounts, collection accounts, that you will want to pay off, but there's also some that aren't really worth it. You're better off actually just leaving them on there. The fifth piece of advice kind of ties back into the fourth piece of advice that I gave, but it's more on the accounts that you have actually paid on time. You're not going to want to close any accounts that you have in good standing. Even if it's a credit card that you're like, man, I never use it, I don't really see why it's open, just leave it open. Because like we said before, credit history has a factor, plays a factor into your credit score. So if you decide to eliminate a account, especially an account that's in good standing, what that's going to do is it's going to get rid of that credit history and it's going to affect your score. So my best advice for people who are like, well, I've got this credit card that I'm not really using, well, just leave it. Don't use it. Don't even mess with it. You can just leave it at a zero balance. It's not a big deal. My sixth piece of advice for a credit newbie is going to be to have a financially responsible family member add you on as an authorized user to one of their credit accounts. What this is going to do is it's going to give you their credit history for that particular account. Adding their hopefully good credit history to your credit history will help you acquire new accounts in the future. And this is an especially good tip for people who don't have any credit history. Going to a family member and asking them to add you on as an authorized user will instantly give you credit history. And this is a great tip for parents with kids who are 17 years old who are looking to go to college. Add them on as an authorized user at the age of 17, and then by the time they go to college, when they're 18, maybe 19 years old, they're actually going to have a credit history. Just don't give them a card or anything like that, or else they're going to go spend it on a bunch of crazy stuff. So yeah, definitely a really good tip. And yeah, these are my simple rules to live by in order to maximize your credit score for credit newbies. Thanks for watching, guys.